Boilermakers. Over the past 20 years, the Ohio State Buckeyes have a losing record at Ross-Ade Stadium.
I was part of the 18 team, so I know what that was like.
But lately, losing is all Purdue seems to do, with 15 straight Big Ten losses, and today the Buckeyes are looking to throw a Sweet 16 party. If you want to play in Indiana in December, you need to win in Indiana in November. Wake up the demons and tell them it's time to exercise. Ohio State against Purdue. The football fever starts right now.
All right, it's time for the Buckeyes versus the Boilermakers. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Football Fever pregame show. Ben Buchanan here in studio with former Buckeyes Obi Stillwell and Jay Richardson. Guys, Ohio State is on the road again after a suffocating win over Penn State last week. How are we feeling moving into this trip at West Lafayette? Jay, I'll give you the floor first, my man.
Tell you what, coming off some fantastic football that's been played by these Buckeyes, it's nice to see the team in a nice groove. You know, I've been seeing a lot of podcasts. I've been seeing a lot of interviews with Ryan Day and even Patrician podcasts. And the general feel I get is they haven't even got it in the third gear yet, fellas. Like, we haven't really seen the full breadth of what this offense can do. And then defensively, I'm loving all of Matt's halftime adjustments. I mentioned last week that he does a fantastic job at the half of shifting his defense and adjusting to whatever the opposing offense is giving him. And second half shutout against Penn State. Looking at today, I just don't think this is going to be an interesting game. Yep. And I know you're not supposed to say that when you're in this industry. You want people to watch these football games. But, man, we're going to talk some college football today because I'm not even going to jinx it. I'm just going to tell it. Purdue has no shot. There is no Rondale Moore out there. There is no Kyle Orton out there. We'll talk about that later. I don't feel like they have a prayer.
Obi, you can't have a letdown. Well, elite teams can't have letdowns. So do you agree with Jay here?
No, I do. I mean, it's pretty glaringly obvious that it's not really, as they say, it's not about the X's and O's. It's about the Tyrones and the Joes, right?
Okay.
Tyrone in there. But at the end of the day, they just don't have the firepower. They just don't have the athletes. They're Purdue is in the middle of a culture change, new coach in, all that good stuff. I don't think, and Ohio State is just, I mean, they're full steam ahead.
They are.
I believe that Purdue is playing better than their record. You know what I'm saying? I think they'll play a little better. I think they lost to Michigan by
0-6 in the Big Ten, better than their record.
I do. I think they will play better. I think you look at. I don't think they're going to just be that type of, because Purdue is not going to just roll over.
Exactly.
I like that.
I do believe Ohio State is going to dominate.
It's the Big Ten, right? Coaches say they have players on scholarship too, right? So they're able to play. No letdown today for these talented 2025 Buckeyes. All right, well, the Buckeyes may be gearing up to play a Purdue team that is, as we mentioned, dead last in the Big Ten. But Ross-Ade Stadium has not been kind to Ohio State in the past. For more on their shocking road record, let's send things out to our Dave Holmes at Purdue. Hey, Dave.
Hey there, guys. I'm at Ross-Ade Stadium. Don't be jealous. I know you guys love it here. Look, the Buckeyes have not played well in this building for whatever reason over the past 20 years with that losing record. 3-4 in their last 7 trips here to West Lafayette. Now, I was at a couple of these. I remember that 2018 game when Rondale Moore treated the Buckeye defense like they were 11 scarlet tackling dummies out there. 12 catches, 170 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The Buckeyes lost 49-20 that day. Now, that said, I checked Rondale Moore's eligibility. He's not walking through the door today. These Purdue teams are much worse nowadays than they were of years past, and I think the Buckeyes have gotten significantly better. So I don't think that's going to be the case today. But I asked Ryan Day earlier this week how he explains this weird anomaly, this 20-year struggle at Ross-Ade Stadium. Here's what he told me.
I mean, I was part of the 18 team, so I know what that was like, and they have a lot of pride in that program. I think Barry Odom is a very, very good coach. These guys are well coached, and he is a good man and a good football coach. And I know he's got a good staff there. So, put the film on and watch him play last week. And so, we know we have to, continue to get better this week. We have to bring it at 1 o'clock.
When he said put the film on last week, he's referencing the fact that this Purdue team went up to Ann Arbor and only lost by 5 to the Wolverines. And if we're trying to come up with a silver lining here, Purdue has had 3 close losses in their last 4 games, so they're playing a little bit better. But guys, the Buckeyes are favored by 30 for a reason. I'm trying to keep people watching for the rest of the hour because Jay Rich tried to end the show at 11:01 Eastern by saying, they're going to blow them out, it's over. I'm trying to keep the people engaged here, guys.
We appreciate that, Dave. I think so as well. All right, so as Dave mentioned, the Buckeyes have faced plenty of adversity on the road against Purdue in the last 20 years. In fact, when Ohio State plays in West Lafayette, get this, their record is just 3-4. This shocking record started back in 2004 when the Buckeyes lost 17-24. It was Brandon Kirsch and the Boilermakers that absolutely dominated offensively as Troy Smith and the Buckeyes struggled to get anything going in that ball game. It wouldn't be until 2009 that OSU lost again in West Lafayette, this time 2-interception game from Terrell Pryor and a Purdue passing attack led by Joey Elliott, who threw the ball 50 times, sealed a 26-18 Boilermaker victory. One to certainly forget there. And then just 2 years later, it was much more of the same. The Buckeyes headed into Ross-Ade Stadium with 3 losses under their belt. Despite a poor offensive performance, the Buckeyes still managed to send this one to overtime, eventually losing 23-26. This loss also started a major slide that season that saw the Buckeyes fail to win a single game the rest of the year, finishing 6-7 on the year. Wow. And the most recent loss came in 2018. The third overall Buckeyes got absolutely demolished by the Boilermakers, 20-49. Purdue wide receiver Rondell Moore put up a highlight reel performance in this one, hauling in 12 passes from David Blau for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns in that one. Forgettable performances here, guys. Guys, it's an interesting record, 3-4 when playing over in West Lafayette for the past 20 years. And Jay, you were actually a part off for us here, man. What was that game like in West Lafayette? Just describe it for the fans.
You know, I'm not a part of a lot of OSU history that ends negatively. Now, I was also a part of the Holy Buckeye and some other great things.
Good.
National Championship 02.
We know you can take it, man.
Yes, I was a part of the 04 team. Yes, Troy threw 3 interceptions. I love you, Troy. I'm not putting this on you.
Yeah.
Yes, at halftime, it was 3-17 Purdue. We fought back in that game, tied things up, and then Kyle Lord and those boys marched down and got that last score. I think he threw it to Dustin for the touchdown that absolutely crushed us. There's Brandon Mitchell, 32, one of my boys from Atlanta, Georgia, absolutely doing a terrible job out there. And it was a rough one. It was a rough one. I think you see me down there not getting a sack. Yeah, a lot of things did not go our way that day, and we'll just leave it right there.
Yep. Purdue has given Ohio State fits, guys. We keep preaching it today. No letdown for 2025. Now, just because there are some bad memories at Ross-Ade Stadium, it doesn't mean we don't have any good ones. Who can forget the iconic call? Holy Buckeye!
There we go.
Obi, it was truly an iconic call, iconic win for Buckeye Nation that year.
Yes, it was, and it was like, I believe it was like 4th and 1. Or
yes.
I mean, the whole season was on the line.
Riding on.
And you know what? The tale of the tale is actually that Krenzel and Mike Jenkins, they actually had a little conversations within the huddle, right? That was like, hey, you know what? I see something, and Tress was like, all right. Go ahead with it, Jingles. Make it happen. And they made it happen. That iconic play, iconic win, iconic season.
Legendary.
You know what they saw, Obi? They saw that that cornerback was about 5'9", and Mike Jenkins, if you guys recall, is 6'5" and runs a 4'4". And they were like, toss it over that little dude, and let's go win the game and save the season.
That, right?
Go route to number 12, and they went on to win the national championship, as we know. Pretty special season. Holy Buckeye right there. All right, coming up, it's running back by committee, and it is a huge committee this year. We analyzed the sluggish Buckeye ground game that still has yet to find their true leader. This is the Football Fever. Stay with us. All right, in the Atlas Butler offensive checkup, we're checking up on the Buckeye running game here. We've seen at least 5, that's right, count them up, 5 different running backs contribute for the Buckeyes this year. The talented freshmen, Bo Jackson and Isaiah West, have seen their involvement increase as the season wears on, while other backs have certainly carved out more unique roles for themselves. James Peoples, who started the year as RB1, has been mainly used as a third down back. C.J. Donaldson continues to be the team's short yardage and goal line back, while Sam Williams-Dixon has been used in late blowout games when those 4 guys need a break. So, Obi, who is the undisputed #1 running back this year, in your opinion? If we have one, who can you hang your hat on?
You know what? I definitely, and you all know I'm going to say Bo Jackson.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a running back who's physical. I think he still needs to work on how he can read the holes and how they open up. But I think that he is the guy. He's the physical back. He's that guy that runs the most violent to me out of all the backs. And I think we're going to actually see. Can't forget how young he is too.
Yeah.
I think he's going to grow into this RB1. I'm hoping RB1 as the season goes on to go into the playoffs, go into the Big Ten in the playoffs. I think we're going to have to kind of narrow it down and have that guy so he can get into a rhythm.
Yep.
I think that's the only knock is that for having so many running backs, it's just hard for those running backs to actually get into a rhythm.
Yeah, we talk like Ezekiel Elliott, right? He used to say, "Feed me, man."
Yeah,
right? It's like these guys kind of play into that role.
They're starving out there,
yeah, I don't know, man. We need to pick it up, obviously. Now, this running back room has really broken away from tradition here. Usually at Ohio State, they maintain an elite or a Maurice Clarett who handles the majority of the workload. And if not, then we have a two-headed monster, right? Like Travion Henderson and Quinshon Judkins just last season. But this year is very different. Jay, why are the Buckeyes breaking tradition this year?
Man, you can't have a 5-headed monster. That would be a hydra. So what people have to understand is this Ohio State offense does miss Chip Kelly a little bit. Chip went to the Raiders out there in Las Vegas, and he is not having a lot of success with my Raiders, and that's not running game. The biggest thing is people have to understand styles make fights, styles make offenses too. Ryan Day has always been pass heavy and lean towards an explosive offense. So when people look back, yes, the running game looked a lot more explosive last season, but the 2024 championship team averaged 167 yards on the ground. This year's team averages 153 yards on the ground. So it's not that much less. It just looks different. People are used to that like 2014 style Buckeyes where they averaged 264 yards on the ground under Urban Meyer back in those days. So there was a lot more QB runs, I think, guys. And when you have a more mobile and athletic quarterback like we have had during the Urban Meyer years, the running game obviously gets bolstered. Why? Because the quarterback's going to run, you're going to get an extra gap, and the running backs are going to get loose because the edge players now have to account for a quarterback. Well, under Will Howard and under Julian Sayin, you haven't really had to account for a lot of QB runs. And so when that happens, it does make it a little bit harder on your traditional pro-style running game.
Do you think it's the play calling with Brian Hartline?
I think you're onto something.
Relative to the personnel. Don't y'all miss the J.T. Barrett left, J.T. Barrett right?
Yeah.
I mean, when you needed it, he would get those physical yards.
I thought it was going to be like the fastest show on turf.
Yeah.
When it comes to Brian Hartline becoming the OC.
Yeah.
But it seemed, but you got to have that balanced attack. But I'm wondering, is he struggling a little bit trying to call those running
his
plays?
way. Yeah.
You know what? It's never easy to be a first-year play caller and you're going behind a guy in Ryan Day who was an NFL-level play caller and you're trying to find a rhythm in the offense. And you're right, Obi, there is going to be a little bit of a learning curve for Coach Hartline. So that's just one of those things that Ohio State has been fighting throughout the season.
Well, one thing's for sure, we are pretty elite at passing the football, getting a little better at running the football game by game. Blocking for these backs, also serving as a safety net for the quarterback. Julian Sayin is Max Klare, the tight end transferred from Purdue in the offseason, has proved to be a very valuable addition for the Buckeye offense. Kellyanne Stitz caught up with Max Klare ahead of his return to West Lafayette.
I'm joined by Ohio State tight end Max Klare, who used to be a Boilermaker. You spent 3 seasons at Purdue. What will it be like to face your former team on Saturday?
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's going to be, unique. It'll be fun, though, to say the less. I think the family's really excited to get back up there, and a lot of people are going to be in attendance, so it's going to be a good time.
Your younger brother, Luke, is a tight end there. Have you talked to him much this week?
Yeah, I have. I've called him a few times. It's just really funny because he's actually playing me on scout team.
Is he really?
So that's kind of unique, too. Contact for sure.
For your parents, are they going to do like the split jersey deal? You know what's going on?
Yeah, they definitely do have that. I'm not sure if they're actually going to do it. They might just go neutral colors, but we'll see what they do. Yeah.
On Saturday, Purdue 2-7, but they played some teams tough as of late. What do you see out of this Purdue team?
Yeah, I think they're really well coached and they play really hard, so it's going to be a good challenge for us for sure.
Looking at the tight end room, 4 of you guys have caught touchdown passes this year. How fun is it to be a part of this group?
Yeah, it's super fun. I mean, anytime a tight end gets in, we're all just, it's a party in there, so it's a good time. And, we kind of just bounce off of each other and, we kind of build off of each other, so it's a great group to be a part of.
So, Max, for you, football runs in the family. Your grandfather, your dad, cousin, and 2 uncles played college football.
That's right.
Where do they all play?
So my dad played at Boston College.
Nice.
My grandfather, he played at Virginia Tech. My uncle, one of them, he played at Georgia Tech, and then the other uncle played at Indiana.
Wow.
And then my cousin, he was at Purdue with me as well, so kind of in the blood a little bit at Purdue.
Wow, a lot of family ties to Purdue.
Yeah.
Did your dad know Ryan Day from Boston College? I don't know if they overlap.
No, they didn't really overlap, but we actually did, I think, run into him one time when we were up there when I was a little kid. We were just running around the field, and I think we ran into him up there, so it was kind of funny.
Full circle moment for
Yeah,
you, especially
exactly.
being here. Out of all of those guys, though, who influenced your career in football?
I think my dad, because, obviously I spent the most time with him, and, he kind of grew up coaching me and showing me the way, so definitely my dad.
And I know you don't have a lot of time outside of football, but when you do, how do you spend your time? What are you into?
Yeah, I do a lot of random things, but
Like
obviously,
what?
like in the summer, I'll play some golf, do little things here and there with friends and family, watch movies, just, normal things that people do.
Do you have any plans to play with some of the guys? I think there's a few guys who are into golf on the team, right?
Yeah, we got out there a few times this summer, so that was pretty fun.
Who'd you play with?
I played with Botto. I played actually with Will Howard. Obviously the tight ends, Will, Bennett, Caden Curry, all those guys. So it was a good time.
Who is the best golfer on the team?
Best golfer on the team. Ryan Rodzinski's pretty good.
Okay.
Botto's pretty good. Lincoln Kinesholz, I've heard, is really good. So yeah, I think those are some of the top 3.
Thank you, Max, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Well, Ohio State is QBU, but Purdue has their own position specialization. Why the Boilermakers consider themselves to be the cradle of quarterbacks and the rich history that backs up their claims. This is the Football Fever. Stay with us. Well, Ohio State is often called wide receiver U, and for good reason. Just take a look at the incredible talent that's worn the scarlet and gray. In the last 5 years alone, the Buckeyes have boasted 5 first-round draft picks and a Heisman finalist, greatly improving the game at the professional level. That's elite.
The
right
best.
there.
Sorry, LSU.
Let's go. But just like how Ohio State is known as wide receiver U, Purdue also has their own claim to fame, guys. That's right. They consider themselves the cradle of quarterbacks due to their rich history of developing exceptional NFL signal callers. And these 3 guys right here certainly add credibility to their case. From right to left, it's Bob Greasy, Drew Brees, and Len Dawson. Now, all 3 of these quarterbacks have won a Super Bowl, which is obviously extremely impressive. Greasy won back-to-back championships with the Miami Dolphins in '72 and '73. Brees won his only title in 2010, and Dawson did it before any of them in 1970, way back in Super Bowl IV. This means Purdue is just one of 2 schools to produce 3 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. Pretty impressive right there. For some better perspective on this amazing achievement, let's send things out to Dave Holmes, who's currently in the cradle right now. Hey, Dave.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive when you think about Bob Greasy and Drew Brees. I mean, guys who won Super Bowls, Len Dawson as well with the Kansas City Chiefs. And the only other school that can claim that is Alabama. The Crimson Tide actually have 4 with Kenny Stabler, Joe Namath, Bart Starr, and most recently, Jalen Hurts. So these Purdue quarterbacks are very, very elite. Now, besides Drew Brees, we got to go back 4 or 5 decades for the other guys. As of recent times, other schools have been better. I would throw Oklahoma in the mix, especially during the Lincoln Riley era. Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray. They also can claim Jalen Hurts. You go back a little farther, Jason White won a Heisman Trophy. USC has been very good in the last 20 to 25 years as well, but they take great pride in it. As I've walked around Ross 8 Stadium this morning, I see Drew Brees signage everywhere. I see odes to Bob Greasy, so they're very proud of it, guys. But I don't think those quarterbacks face the kind of defense they're going to face today with Matt Patricia and the Ohio State Buckeyes. But nonetheless, I am reporting live from the cradle of quarterbacks here in West Lafayette, Indiana.
Very nice, Dave. All right, guys, is Purdue deserving of the title, cradle of quarterbacks, and what other schools do you think could possibly take that title from them? Jay, let's start with you here.
I mean, obviously they got the big one in Drew Brees. That's a very hard one to top. Drew was unbelievable. I played with Drew in New Orleans with the Saints, and the dude is a machine. He outworks everybody. He's an anomaly. So, I'm not even Kyle Orton. Okay, Greasy. That's a long time ago. You look at USC, man, and you got guys like Carson Palmer. You got champions like Matt Leinart.
Yeah.
You got guys, more recently like Caleb Williams. You got another former teammate of mine with the Jets, and Mark Sanchez, who played some really good football and I believe made it to an AFC championship. So he's no scrub. You have to put them in the mix. They're known for having West Coast snipers. They're known for having guys that can play that West Coast offense at a very high level. And there was a time where the NFL circles always wanted a USC West Coast style quarterback because they can come in and spread the ball around. So I don't know. High level winning championship Super Bowls, that is a rare thing no matter what school you come from. But I might lean towards USC.
USC's a good one. Obi, your pick here.
Hey, I'm going with Oklahoma.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield. I know he's a Buckeye nemesis. He should never.
We hate you, Baker.
The flag. We don't like that.
You shouldn't have did that.
Come on, man.
Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts. I know he was at Alabama, but by way of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I think Oklahoma just had this thing for recruiting in Texas. A lot of these kids came from Texas, but Oklahoma was able to pull them in. I think Oklahoma deserves to be
no doubt
a part of that cradle.
Bob Stoops, he had some good quarterbacks through his time.
Yeah.
And, I like it. Cradle, USC.
Sam Bradford down there,
Sam
too?
Bradford, you see, I think, pictured right there.
Made a bunch of money
he did.
in the NFL.
They restructured rookie deals a little
was
after.
always on IR, but boy, is he rich.
Oh, I guess so. Wow.
We ain't hating, though.
Love to see it, right?
Baker Mayfield, by the way, is still on site. You never come to Columbus, Baker, for real. It's
Sorry,
on site.
man. It's just the way it is, right? Well, it's been nearly 20 years since a Buckeye lifted college football's most prestigious individual honor. But the odds are in OSU's favor this year. The 2 players lighting up opposing defenses and Heisman watch lists. You're watching the Football Fever. Buckeyes have arrived. Ohio State looking cool, calm, and collected as they head into Ross-Ade Stadium to take on Purdue. We're just a little Buckeye. Fantastic photo of the week, and we want to shout out our very own Jay Rich in this one. That's right. Last week he made his Big Ten Network debut ahead of the Penn State game, and what's even more impressive, he made it back to the studio for the very best show on television, The Football Fever. That's very impressive, my friend. Way to go right there. I heard you crushed
the wonders of TV magic. I
love
just
it.
somehow vanished and appeared in studio with a hoodie on, by
And
the way.
the hoodie blazer was a clean look. I must say so myself. Well, the college football world is shifting strategies when it comes to the Heisman Trophy. That's right. The top three preseason favorites to win the award, Arch Manning, Cade Klubnik, and Garrett Nussmeier, are all out of the running after some rough performances, to put it lightly. But their poor play and Ohio State's dominance means two Buckeyes are now pushing for that coveted award. Jay, let's start with Julian Sayin here. He wasn't on any Heisman boards to start the season, but do you think Jay Cool has what it takes to win the Heisman Trophy?
No doubt about it. I'm not going to get into his numbers because we already know the numbers and we understand the insane completion percentage. What people are going to do is cut that film on, and they're going to want to know, is he the reason Ohio State is winning games, or is he a product of just the talent around him? And I can honestly say it's both. There is some fantastic talent around him. We get it. He has the two best wideouts in the country. But when you cut that film on, you show a kid that is making some fantastic reads, throwing some beautiful passes, in some instances throwing guys open, not making the big mistake. You're talking about a kid that's his first year starting out there, and he is operating this offense at a level as if he was a fifth-year senior. Oh, well, these days you can have like 7- and 8-year seniors, and he is looking like one of these super veterans, and he's only a youngster. It's impressive what he's doing, but it's more impressive the way he's doing it and the way that they're slowly opening up the offense for him week in and week out. I got a feeling by the time that team up north, that by the time that game rolls around and then heading into the Big Ten championships, he will be the guy that everyone's talking about for the Heisman, because Ohio State is just having one of those kind of dream seasons.
80% completion, guys. Like, are you kidding me? And these aren't like dinks and dunks. These are like 50-yard bombs to Carnell Tate, Jeremiah. I mean, he is pretty
He's
special.
pushing it downfield.
Yeah.
Like, this is not just like
he's an elite.
Some like little chump offense.
Yeah.
No. He is lobbing that thing, two guys over their shoulder, dropping it in buckets. He's amazing.
Yeah, very impressive. Now, Jeremiah Smith was on a few preseason lists, but him winning seemed like a long shot at the time, but not so anymore. Obi, could JJ become the first wide receiver to win the Heisman since Alabama's Devonta Smith did so back in 2020?
Absolutely not. I don't think JJ is going to win the Heisman. I think should he be in New York? Yeah, absolutely should be in New York. Jay kind of stole my thunder a little bit there, but I do believe I was the first one to say that Julian Sayin was going to win the Heisman. I believe I was the first one.
You know what?
Fever saying that.
Check tape.
I think you might have said that.
But you know what? Also, I think it's an interesting story when you look at JJ versus Carnell Tate. And I don't know if we're going to dive into a little bit of that, but you know, it's interesting that you can be first but not primary, right? Because JJ is first, but he's not primary. I think Carnell has become primary in the receiver corps. Yep. I think that JJ has some very exciting plays. I mean, look at that he just went up for a rebound right there. Those are some skill sets that it's hard to teach, right? Yeah. Carnell Tate, though, has taken over the wide receiver room. JJ will always be JJ, but Carnell Tate has gone to a whole nother level, and it's a really, really good lesson in patience and understanding that even though you may not be number one, does not mean that you're not primary.
Yeah, that's a great analysis. Good stuff. All right, with that being said, in this week's Prime Sportsbooks Picks of the Day, guys, I want you to tell me the three players that you think will be making the trip for the Big Apple in the Heisman Trophy ceremony this season. Jay, we'll start with you, man.
So I got to be realistic about this. And, man, you have got to take Julian and JJ very seriously. We just talked about those two. But Fernando Mendoza, man, this kid is magical. He is a special quarterback, 6'5", 225 pounds. He's got over 2,000 yards already. We're like at week 8. He's got 2,100 yards. He's got 25 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions on the season. Wow. That means you're protecting the football. Obviously, you know Kurt Cignetti and that offense is always going to put up points, and they're putting up basketball numbers on everybody they come across. It is very crazy to see. That's the most anticipated game of the year will be Ohio State versus Indiana in the Big Ten championship. That's going to decide kind of the future of the conference, and I cannot wait to see that game. But Mendoza will be a Heisman finalist. The dude is the real deal, and in NFL circles, he's already being mentioned as a top 5 pick.
Great picks right there, Jay Rich. Obi, what do we got?
Yeah, I have definitely Mendoza. I like this game. I like his attitude. I like the way his whole persona. I think he's just brought a whole nother level of swag to Indiana, and Indiana is going to be a problem in the Big Ten championship. I also throw in Carnell Tate. I believe, though I do believe JJ will be invited, I believe that Carnell Tate should be invited also. So he's one of my finalists, and obviously I believe Julian Saying, is going to actually win the Heisman. I think one of the most—
As a first-year starter?
As a first-year starter. I think it's amazing, too. The most amazing thing is not just that he's a great athlete, he's a great player, but he looks like your average ticket taker at a movie. You go to get a movie. He was so, he's very unassuming as an athlete. I mean, he doesn't look like some star, big 6'4" quarterback. He looks like your basic kid at the golf course cleaning your clubs.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? He's a very unassuming athlete, but I think that's a part of the persona.
He looks like a ticket taker?
Oh, man, he looks like a ticket taker. I mean, he looks like just your average around the neighborhood kid.
The guy had three incompletions last week. Yeah. 2 of them were throwaways. Yeah. Wrap your mind around that. Yeah. More touchdowns than incompletions.
And he's not a big kid.
This dude can sling the football, as we know.
He's efficient.
Yeah.
I'll give you more credit, Julie. You look like a baseball player. Like those guys you see in public, you really can't tell who they are because they're not big, tall dudes. But
it's the flow.
He's got a skill set.
The flow.
Yeah.
You know? All right, good to see.
Auditorium 3.
Well, it certainly gives you a little extra motivation to beat your opponent on their home turf. We're talking the psychology of poor facilities and how it plays to the Buckeyes' advantage today. You're watching the Football Fever.
I remember covering the Rondale Moore game where Rondale Moore made the defense look like 11 cones out there. I mean, just 49-20, I believe, was the final. One of the worst losses, if not the worst, of Urban Meyer's career. That was an ugly night. But I remember going in the post-game room, and I walked in. I was like, "Hey, where's the post-game interview room?" And they said, "You're in it." And it looked like a little circus tent that was set up, and it was the weirdest environment. But it's not one that unless Coach Mick is dragging you across the room, it's hard to get hyped up there.
No, I mean, the thing that should get you hyped is the piss poor accommodations. I mean, you should be pissed off by the time you get out there in the football field when you're in the locker room. Literally, that's not that big. Everybody's on top of each other. It's hot. There's no AC. It stinks. It's one of the worst places to go and play. That alone should get you pumped up to go out and dominate Purdue.
It's dead ass a shed, though. Like, it's where they keep the stuff out. And then when teams come in, like, you can see the stuff that they
park the lawnmower in there.
Exactly. Yeah. Seriously. So.
Yeah, why don't you guys tell us what you really think? That was a clip from this week's episode of The Script, the podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. I do it every week with Cardale Jones and Beanie Wells. Hit us up at The Script OSU on social, or follow us, subscribe on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your pods. But let's show you beautiful Ross-Ade Stadium. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't mind the stadium itself. And by the way, you can tell that right now it's about 80-20 Ohio State fans here early. They do have a natural grass field. But you know what? Why talk about the locker room when I could actually just show you? So, hey, we're on live TV. Let's hijack the football fever for a minute. So there's the field. Let me show you where Ohio State's locker room is. You walk right up this short tunnel. Here is the equipment truck that they just parked. The team arrived about 20 minutes ago. There are the fans waiting for them outside the gate. Buckeye fans always line up. And this is it, guys. This is the shed that was referenced right here. So here the Ohio State players and coaches are waiting. They've got some ice machines, some Gatorade machines over here. It's just a shed. And here we see head coach Ryan Day coming out of the locker room. Ryan's walking out of his shed. Best of luck today, Coach. He's getting ready to go down there and face Purdue this afternoon. Really, this is all it is, guys. This is the shed. So it makes me wonder. You guys have played in a lot of football stadiums. To me, the field itself is fine. The fan experience isn't bad. They blow that train whistle every first down. But the locker room, it's not great. So I want to hear your guys' take on some other locker rooms out there.
Thanks, Dave. Remember it well, certainly. Guys, Purdue certainly has poor facilities, as mentioned, but are there any others? Are there others that we can think of that made away games just that much worse? It all can't be the horseshoe, right, Jay?
There's plenty of terrible places to be a visiting team in the Big Ten. In Indiana comes to mind as well. But to me, one of the worst is Iowa.
Yes.
You got to go all the way out there in the middle of Nowheresville, Iowa, right? The nearest hotel to the stadium is in West Bumble, you know what? Like, you're in the middle of nowhere. And then when you finally get to the actual away stadium, it's painted pale pink.
Yes.
They say that's for psychological purposes to kind of make you more docile and tone down the testosterone in the room. all the benches look like park benches in the middle of like a bad city. I mean, it's really, really strange, and I just think it's uncomfortable. The ceilings are low. If you're a taller guy, you got to bend down to get in there to get dressed. It's a bad experience all around, and it's the reason why you either want to like beat them so badly when the game starts, just out of the disrespect of them putting you in that awful locker room, or got people have a bad game because they just didn't get a chance to go through their routine like they want to because they're in these crap circumstances. So yes, I was up there.
The pale pink locker rooms. You're
right.
I remember those as well. Oh man!
I never went to Iowa.
Okay.
I never played at Iowa.
You didn't miss much.
Yeah. So
what's your example? What do we
you
got?
know what? I'd say Penn State. Penn State. We had like when you talk about the low hanging like. And then you see a couple little water, stains and leaks here and there throughout the ceiling and stuff. Penn State. And not only did the actual visitors' locker room was it horrible, it was also, now as a media person, I've been there several times. Guess what? The media facilities is horrible too. I mean, they're definitely consistent. I was wondering too, though, have any of you all been to Ohio State's visiting locker room?
Never.
I can't say that I've been in there.
I've actually been there.
Okay. Is it much nicer?
We have a great visitors locker room.
we?
Yeah, we do. Actually, we do.
So it's
interesting. We definitely have set them up well. They have not set us up well.
See, we're way too classy. We should treat them like they treat us.
First class all the way, The Ohio State University. All right. Well, the polls are out and the Buckeyes are on top. That may be a given, but there's still plenty of CFP controversy to break down. We'll explain next when the Football Fever returns.
Welcome back to the Football Fever. The first college football playoff rankings came out earlier this week on Tuesday night. The Ohio State Buckeyes, not surprisingly, number 1. Indiana, number 2. Figured that as well. Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss. A lot of SEC there in the middle. And the back end there, Notre Dame, Texas, and Oklahoma round out the top 12 in the rankings. We can all have our gripes with these sort of rankings. I actually don't mind what the committee did for a first outing. The most interesting team to me, though, is Notre Dame, because when they lost their first 2 games of the season at Miami and home against Texas A&M, we said those are the only 2 tests the Irish are going to face all year, and they failed on both of those. So they're the interesting team to me, because if they run the table, they're 10-2. They're certainly going to be in based on the playoffs. The question is, should they be in? Now, the Irish do have to go on the road to face Pitt, which right now is clinging to a ranking at number 24 overall, so I guess that would be a quality win. I'm okay with Marcus Freeman's group getting in, but that to me is the one I'm keeping my eye on. Can Notre Dame somehow get in? Because we thought they were dead to rights after those first 2 losses to start the season. By the way, if you're looking behind me here, the Ohio State Buckeyes now on the field warming up here at Ross 8 Stadium. It's a rare 1 o'clock kickoff here in West Lafayette. Buckeyes look locked in, guys. We know Ohio State's going to be in the playoff. It's just a matter of seeding at this point, but I do want to get some of your guys' takes on these playoff rankings.
All right, thanks, Dave. So, guys, after seeing the first edition of the college football playoff rankings, what did we like? What did we dislike? Obi, where are you with this?
You know what? I liked everything I saw, actually, in the top 5, except for, Alabama. I always got a little problem with them. No matter
they
what.
Fought their way back,
yeah,
man.
I mean, sometimes you say, hey, they fought their way back, or did they, I don't know, were they placed in a place where people already wanted them anyhow? You know what I'm saying? They always like that SEC up there. And I guess the only other gripe I have is that why is there a challenge with Ohio State staying at number 1? Yeah. I think that's a part of the, I don't know, maybe a part of the exchange. You go through the pressure of actually being number 1, and that is in exchange for that pressure, you stay there unless you lose, right?
Yeah.
Unless you lose a game, then we can talk about it. But other than that, I don't think that's a problem. I think it's interesting, though, 1 and 2 lost teams that actually make their way up a little higher. And then we're talking about Ohio State, who has no blemishes on their record, and then we want to knock them down. So I think that's interesting. But besides that, I think it looks right. It looks according to what is actually being played out this season. So, hey. We'll see.
And they're the defending national champions, too, right?
Yeah, let's not forget that,
man. Not forget it, right? Jay Rich, what we got, man?
Love the rankings. I think a lot of them made sense. I'm going to get a little bit deeper in the weeds. There's only one thing that did not quite make sense to me, and that was Miami at 18 and Iowa at 20. When you look at the Iowa Hawkeyes, man, these guys' only loss was to Iowa State very early on in the season, and then they lost, obviously, to IU, which was actually a hard-fought, very close football game, and you lose to the number 2 team in the country, and you're bumped all the way back to 18. Meanwhile, 20. Meanwhile, Miami at 18, both of their losses came to unranked teams in SMU and Louisville. Wow. 2 unranked squads. Wow. And you got them ahead of Iowa. For what reason? I would love to see these 2 teams play on a neutral field. And I know I'm splitting hairs here, but it just seemed peculiar. It seems like there's an agenda and someone's trying to make the U relevant. And I'm sorry, but you can give Carson Beck $4.3 million. It's not going to make your program relevant.
We've wanted to see it for 25 years, right? They get to this certain point, and then there's that letdown we seem to see.
Always the letdown with the U.
All right, stay with us. We'll hear Dave's keys to the game against the Boilermakers and give our final thoughts ahead of kickoff. This is the Football Fever.
Welcome back. Time now for our Hyundai keys to the game. Start me up. I know it's cliche that you need a fast start, but in a game like this, you've got to bury Purdue. We saw what happened last week. Michigan let them hang around, and that game was way closer than the Maize and Blue wanted. Get off to a quick start and bury these guys early. Rush week. I'm not talking about frats here. Ohio State needs to get this running game going. I know it looked better last week, but if you take out the Bo Jackson big run, it still wasn't great. And right now they're ranked 11th in the Big Ten in rushing yards per game. They should be able to move a Purdue defense, which is very suspect against the run. And finally, take it to the max. Max Klare, this is your moment. The dinner table has been set. It's your time to shine. Get our guy in the end zone today against his former team. We're back here live at Ross-Ade Stadium. I'll get out of the way so you can see the Buckeyes warming up as we speak. Quarterback Julian Sayin out there with the QBs. We have some offensive linemen just come out here. They're about ready to warm up too. The Buckeyes and Boilermakers ready here. As you see Caleb Downs getting his defense hype, giving a pregame speech. They're circling up and ready to go, guys. We are live at Ross-Ade Stadium, 1 o'clock, Buckeyes and the Boilermakers. We've talked a lot about Purdue's struggles in the past, or Ohio State's struggles in the past in this building. Don't think it's going to be an issue today.
Yeah, hope not. All right, guys, final thoughts ahead of this game against the Boilermakers. Jay, why don't you start us off, man?
You know what, just briefly for this team, there's a couple things I just want to see. I know we all understand how great they are and the trajectory. The inferior opponent. So this afternoon, you want to see the Buckeyes come out, low penalized game, no mistakes, no turnovers, put your hands on people up front. I want to see the Ohio State offensive line really get nasty. You know, I want to see one of those games where Ohio State Buckeyes get 200 yards on the ground and don't really need to air it out and do all of that. I get it. It's a reflex to want to just throw the ball deep when you're Ohio State because you can do it, and it's so easy for us. But I do want to see Ryan and these guys work on some things. Like, this is one of those get-right games where you can work on some stuff. Get out there, work on that run game, get your running backs into some rhythm, and let's find some continuity for the latter part, of this season where you're going to have to run the football.
Absolutely. Obi, your thoughts here?
Yeah, you know what? I want to see them get out fast, quick, and aggressive, to be honest with you. This is one of those games, man, that you can just – it's kind of lackluster a little bit, you know. And so you have to be very careful of that. I do believe that Ryan Day will have the guys ready, their mentality. They see the bigger picture. They understand that they're the hunted, all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I do believe that this is a type of game that can actually lead and bleed over into like the third and fourth quarter where you're like, man, they haven't pulled away. I want to see Ohio State pull away. I want to see that run game. I want, again, kind of what Jay was saying, put their hands on them, right? Really, really be aggressive. I mean, and we know what Ohio State has, right? Sure. We know the type of team that they are. But I want to see them come out big, strong, and very aggressive, and really take the fight to Purdue.
Well, what he's trying to say is we expect to see Lincoln Kienholz in the game at some point, early in the second half.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real talk, though, we need to see Lincoln come in the game, be able to deliver the football, throw the strikes, because that's going to be so important. We've seen next man up culture here at Ohio State. You remember Braxton Miller goes down, J.T. Barrett comes in, Cardell Jones does his thing, right? You're one injury away from having your shot here at Ohio State. So to have Lincoln come in today, I think would be key. Guys, quickly, we'll have time. What does it take, to run the football effectively? Is it attitude? Is it the offensive line? Is it the X's and O's? Why haven't we been able to do that so far?
I hinted at it earlier with just when you don't have a mobile guy at the helm, you have to run more of a pro-style offense, and that begs that you really get aggressive with your hands, that you have accurate fits, that you pick up, run blitzes very well. And I think a lot of that is just a timing and a feel thing. But I think Obi was onto something too. Just having a running back get into a rhythm where they know what they're seeing. You got to realize each running back that comes in, it seems like they have their own set of running plays that you want to run. So the offensive line's not really in a great rhythm because now we got a new guy, and then the new guy comes in and he's only seen about 2 or 3 snaps, and so he's not in a great rhythm. So I think to execute at a high level, you want to have some consistency.
You think well, I was going to also say that they got this one guy named Jeremiah Smith.
Oh, yeah.
And another guy named Carnell Tate.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They're pretty explosive guys that are out there. So when your running game is not as effective as you want it to be, maybe you don't put the intensity of actually trying to fix it when you have those type of guys that can stretch the field like
well,
they do.
Maybe they don't have to do it today, but you wonder if they just need to work on it, right? We've proven we're elite at throwing the football, elite defense. Special teams, I'd like to see us be a little more special today.
A little
more average. We need to step up as the season continues to progress. So we'll see it today in West Lafayette. All right, that'll do it for us here on the Football Fever. The Buckeyes and the Boilermakers kick it off in just about an hour. Join us at 11 p.m. for the Football Fever post-game show. Until then, enjoy the game, everyone, and go Bucks!
Bucks.